So I'm on my way up to Phoenix right now to look at a 98 12 valve Cummins to possibly buy if I look at it and everything checks out. And I may be buying it to replace my first gen, which I so lovingly drive. You guys know I love my first gen so much. First gen Cummins have my heart. But I need something with a back seat because you guys know Emily's pregnant with our first child, and the first gens don't quite cut it because even the extended cabs don't have a true back seat. The second gens do have a back seat, but they don't have a rear opening door. In 98, for 4 to 6 months out of the year of 98, they made a second gen with a 12 valve with a rear opening door. And right after that, they went to the electronically controlled 24 valve BP44 injection pump, which I don't want. I want to stay 12 valve, but I want that rear opening door. So they're kind of hard to find, and this one I know has got some issues. It was in a wreck in the front, had some kind of tar sealer spilled all over it in the wreck, and I'm just hoping that it's something that I feel I can straighten out because I really would like to have this truck, make it really nice. So let's head up to Phoenix Park and take a look at this truck. So I just showed up. My truck and trailer's over there, parked in this neighborhood. But here's the truck, and it's kind of, he spilled, like he said, he did like tarring and roofing, and I mean, I don't know if this is gonna, see that? That's a nightmare to figure out how to get out of there. It's all over the truck, like right here. It's been sitting here for a little while. It's pretty dusty, look at that. If you could get it off, the paint's not that bad. Something fell on it and busted the back window. The rear cab light is out of it. And like you said, it got, I mean, kind of in a wreck in the front. I kind of wish this truck wasn't right literally in my way, but tore up the front bumper pretty good, busted the grill, pushed the hood in. Oof. He said he did have the door panels. Seats aren't terrible. There's the door panels. This is what I'm interested in. See, it's got the rear opening door. I like that. And I'm not sure if the hood latch works. Dash looks, oh, they already put a skin over the top of it. See that? Dash is busted and they put a skin over it. This is kind of loose, probably because they may have been putting that skin on it, but I don't know, the rest of it looks all right. What I'm really concerned about is getting this gunk off, man. I don't know if that's gonna come off. Looks like it hit the condenser pretty good. Maybe the oil cooler. Radiator looks really good. He said that the radiator was leaking because it got hit, but like I'd have to trailer it, which is why I brought my trailer. Yeah, it's out, but it's got the 12 valve and everything looks complete. It's got his belt on it. It still has washer fluid in it. Got its batteries. You put a cold air intake on it, which is whatever. That doesn't really do anything. Got Hydro Boost brakes. Wow, not a power booster. Hydro Boost. Got a little bit of oil on the back. Let's see what we have for oil. It's full. He said it runs, so we'll see when it gets here. If it runs all right, it'll run long enough to get on the trailer. Let's check the trans. Yeah. I see. When it got pushed forward, that's what did it. It pushed the whole thing forward. it hit the fan. Look at this side though. Oh my gosh. That sucks. Oh my Lord. That's terrible. Oh, this door won't open. Yeah, the wreck pushed that fender in. Oh, they put new control arms on it probably because of the wreck. Yeah, new upper and lower control arms on this side. They put a sway bar kit in it. Looks like a sort of a new power steering box. New pitman arm. Doesn't look like there's a lot of oil on the pavement. I mean, it's been sitting here obviously, and it doesn't look like there's a puddle under it. Yeah, this cross member will have to be done too. I didn't even notice at first. Look at that. How that bed is completely pushed forward into the cab. And it dented the cab. Oh my gosh. This is a lot to straighten out. This is worse than I thought. How bad do I really want this truck, dude? I mean, obviously it's rust free underneath. Not a speck of nothing. But I'm worried about things being bent out of shape. I don't know what got hurt in that wreck and what's bent. That looks terrible. And you can hardly even see the door panel. I know they sell like tar removal stuff, but I don't really know if they really sold it expecting that kind of stuff in a truck. But there's a real specific reason I want this, and there's not a lot of these specific trucks around. So I still think I'm gonna go through with it, but I'm just gonna have to deal with fixing the thing. All right, we got it loaded, got it chained down. Let's head back to home plate. So I stopped to get some food and I parked by this hotel. And I think that's the first time I've ever made that mistake. I knew the hood didn't latch, and I didn't think to latch it with a strap around the fenders. So yeah, definitely tore that up. Yeah, stupid amateur mistake, but it happens. Oh gosh. You know, at some point I did feel like there was some extra drag. Piece of crap grill anyway. I got the ramps laid out, but the batteries on that truck are completely dead. They won't even turn on the cab lights or the under hood light, so oh, this one's got 12.7. Heck yeah. It's already unhooked too. Didn't even need my crescent wrench. Ugh. Won't work. There we go. I heard something. There we go. Power steering works. Now that the truck is in the shop, I want to answer a question that I actually get asked more often than you would think, and that's what kind of boots I wear. You know, Dad and me, every time you see us wearing boots. So it is important to me to wear a good pair of boots. That's why recently I've been wearing Brunt boots. They have a composite toe for safety. I've always loved this tobacco brown, worn look, color to a boot. The soles are oil resistant and slip resistant, and the boot itself is waterproof. I was hesitant about these because I've been wearing the same brand and style of boot since I was 12 years old. But Brunt offers a risk-free trial with every purchase, meaning if you don't like them after you've bought them, you can send them back, and they even pay the shipping. What's great about Brunt workwear is that it was started by a blue-collar worker to make tough workwear for other tradesmen like myself, to withstand the beating that we put on these things. Hands down, they make the most comfortable work boot on the market with barnyard-resistant leather. Everything I buy is very price sensitive to me, and Brunt's work boots are very fairly priced for the product and quality that you're getting. So if your work boots are getting old and you need a new pair, make sure you head over to bruntworkwear.com and use my code Theetravisb10 to get $10 off your next purchase, which includes that risk-free trial on every order. So you got nothing to lose by putting yourself in a brand new pair of truly awesome work boots that really look good enough to go into town on. Let's get back to the video. Before I went inside for the evening, I was just seeing if there was anything I could put on those tar stains to get them off. And I looked online and I heard people say like use WD-40. So I just tried a section of this hood with WD, and then I tried a section with CRC's Knocker Loose. So CRC sent me product, not for this, but you know, they just sent me some stuff. They sent me brake clean, they sent me some of this, they sent me some Evapo Rust. So I said, well, you know what, let's just see if this works. I don't know. So I sprayed it on there. And so this is WD. Look at that. Might not be as hard as I thought after all. Let's try another section. Let's go right here. That one's pretty thick, but it's coming off. Look at that. And then we got the Knocker Loose, which you can see that it's already starting to drag it off. Like, see? It's dragging it. Look at that. That's even better. Whoa! That's crazy. I didn't think it was going to be that easy. Look at that. Amazing. All right, so I think we're going to be using the Knocker Loose. Boy, go get you some of that. That is wicked good. Wonder if they sell this in 5-gallon jugs. Look at this, you can't even see the paint right here. It's leaking out of the valve stem. I can hear it. That's why it's flat. But it's just gonna go flat again, so. Huh. Alright, so I've had that CRC Knocker Loose on there overnight, and I've sprayed more on it today, so we're going to hit it with the pressure washer and see if it comes off. So I would say that it definitely helped, but it might take a couple of coats. I don't know. I'm gonna definitely have to keep working on that. It's bad. All right, so it's the next day, and I rolled the truck over here kind of in the sunlight more, and before I went in, I poured some diesel fuel on it. I'm just trying different things, you know, to see what works the best and if anything works better than another thing. And I mean, it's working. It's gonna take some effort. It's brutally thick. And again, I might go get some, what is that, Goof Off, Goo Gone. Maybe that stuff is more designed for this. I'm just looking for something that can cut it fast. What I think happened was they had a giant tank here, and this is what he told me. They had a big tank of it here. Somebody brake checked them. They hit the brakes as hard as they possibly could. The tank slid forward, hit the bed. That's why the front of the bed's dented forward, but that just shows you how big of a can of sealer it was to be able to dent and push the whole bed forward. And the reason this broke is because when it hit, it pushed the cab forward enough to bend the glass to bust it. I thought something fell from like up here and went through the glass. No, it bent the cab, and you know, glass don't flex, so it breaks the glass. And it's all over the roof. You can't even see it. So this was a ginormous jug barrel of the stuff. Without further ado, let's start taking this truck apart, right? See if we can do this without busting the windshield. Oops. Oh, it's for these stupid little, I don't like these headlights. I'm replacing these. I like the old original granddaddy lights. I don't like these stupid LED fancy black. I don't like it. Nope. How did they even do this? All they did was take a razor, cut the insulation off, and just wrap the wire around it. Just like that, I guess. It dented the trans cooler, but it didn't break it because it's full of tranny fluid, and I ran it and it's not leaking tranny fluid, but condenser's toast.
Should be able to use that condenser off the other one.
Oh, off of, yeah.
Because they can really use it.
Now I don't know if it busted the intercooler piping, like the intercooler itself, but it did break the bracket back here. Well, I tried to save it. So I want to take these off because I want to get a look at the intercooler, see if it's busted, because you can buy all this stuff, condenser, tranny cooler rad, but the intercooler's kind of expensive. I can't believe that this intercooler or this trans cooler didn't break, because I think, like I said, I started it and I've been moving it around and it's not leaking. It sure is bent though. I see a little bit of like a hit here, but I don't think it went through though. But I don't know, I think we might be able to get away with it. If there was even a little pinhole or a crack and break, you really couldn't use it because you'd lose boost. The truck wouldn't perform right because you'd be losing boost pressure out of this, and it wouldn't be going in the engine, burning the fuel. All right, so I'm here at a local junkyard trying to find some parts for this truck. Decided to come down here. It's late on Friday. I'm not going to be able to really pull anything off. I just want to see if he had anything I needed so I could come later and pull it off. So here's, what looks like the Dodge trucks. That's a first gen? Yep. Dodge. All this row is all Dodges. So I need a core support. Looks like, see, I have a straightened out piece of this. Mine, the problem with mine is it's caved in right here. This could be a good core support right here. I got a fender. Could use maybe like some interior pieces. I looked up a carpet kit online. I've used old carpet. It's what I did at that first gen video that I did. I got a carpet out of another guy's truck. But honestly, if I'm doing this truck right, I think a carpet kit is like 200 bucks. It's more worth it to me than to get a 25-year-old carpet that is stained, and then you're trying to clean those stains out, which won't come out. So I might just order a carpet kit. I might have a rear back seat in a cab I have at home, the cab that I took apart for the Cummins build I'm doing. So I think I have a rear seat. I really need a bumper and a hood is what I really need, and a core support. So I have this. I really need a core support, I really need a bumper, and I really need a hood and a grill. But finding a good plastic grill in this yard is next to nil. Why are always with these Dodges with the fronts messed up? Why is it always the front? Look, nothing there. Busted bumper, no bumper, and this is the cross member that I need, but the top piece isn't there, and the top piece is really what's curved in on mine. This is another like first gen style. This one is too new. My years are 98 to 01. This is I don't know exactly what year that is, but it's too new for me. Like, this carpet's not in terrible shape, but you have all that right there. Gutted. Oh, that's stuck. Why are there no hoods either? Everything I need, yeah, of course. No hoods. I'm looking all over this junkyard and I'm not seeing any other trucks like what I need. A lot of Fords. It's a Ford. All right, we're gonna have to keep looking. Have to hit up Facebook Marketplace or something. And the reason why I'm not taking this other one off, even though it's a little bit damaged, is because, so this is the only damage right here. I feel like I can fix that because the rest of it is perfectly fine. All the way down here, it's all good. And I remember when I took apart that other second gen for the Cummins build, getting this off was a nightmare because every electronical thing is hooked to this side. Everything. All your fuses and your ABS brake stuff, other electronic stuff. It's all hooked to this fender, and it really sucked actually trying to get that fender off. So I would rather just fix that and just use it. I bought this junked out second gen and tore it apart because it had no title and it was really rough, because I was doing that Cummins build, which I'm still doing, looking for a body still. So this is the frame from that second gen, and the engine and trans, which is all built for 650 horsepower. This is the fly and drive Cummins, and I'm really trying hard not to part this one, not part it out, but take parts off it for my truck because it's got a perfect front bumper. The truck is rotted out everywhere, fenders, doors, but the friggin' bumper is perfect, and you don't know how bad I want to take this off, but I'm just scared it might hurt the resale value when I go to sell it. And I need this hood too, man, and this grill. Look at the hood. Hood's perfect. I really want to take this, but I'm trying to refrain from doing that. The only spot is right here. Isn't that weird? I mean, you could just cut a square out, weld a little piece of steel in there, and be done with it. But I don't even know why it's rotted there. It's not rotted anywhere else. Just there. I would use this hood, but when I was loading it, the guy hit it with a forklift and tore that hood up. So here's the cab. I can use the rear seat because that rear seat in mine has got tar all over it, and I don't think it's going to come out. And I also need this right here. And over here is where I put the fenders. So this one, this is the passenger side fender. Oh, it does have a little dent right there. It's not bad though. This is all nice. This could probably be hammered out. It's pretty straight. And it's got this little nick right here. So if I really can't find anything, I'll use this fender and just do some body work to it. Not a lot of you guys know. I actually know how to do body work. You think I did that 50 GMC under that carport without having to do body work? Yeah, that was a real big crash course. As far as this rear bumper goes, if it gets too hairy trying to clean this up, I do have this that I saved off of some other second gen I had. I don't even know which one it was. I saved it because it was nice. Glad I did. It's a second gen bumper. It's in dang near perfect shape, so if I have to, I'll pull that out of the woodworks. Use it. Okay, so it's the next day. It's Saturday. We're at the junkyard again. We're at a different one this time. I think I found everything I need, and I can piece the other stuff together myself. So, got a core support here. This one's in good shape all the way around. I like this. And then on this truck, we got a hood situation, and its latch. That's all there. This is in pretty good shape. It's got a few dings, but this is way better. This is workable. And then I think I'm also going to get the hood hinges because mine are toast and these are good. And even on the parts truck I have at home, because the guy hit the hood with the forklift when he was loading it, he bent the hood hinges, so I need a set of hood hinges. And then I found a front bumper on another truck, so we're looking good. Let's take this off. So that's all I'm gonna do. Wire. All right, I'm gonna take this stuff to the front, drop it off so that no one else just picks it up and walks off with it, and then we'll go get the bumper. Oh. Finally. There it is. All right, we're getting somewhere slowly. So we have toast, 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 good hood, good bumper, good core support, and a good fender. I don't remember where I put it. And as far as this bed goes, I think I'm gonna look for another one because, I mean, you can't even see the frame rails, the bed rails, because of how deep and thick that tar is, or that sealer is. And this bed is gonna take weeks to straighten out, and I'm sure I can find one for a couple $100, maybe $300 for a good one. The junkyard close to me would have sold me a bed for $250, but all they had was short beds. I mean, you have to think, am I going to spend more than $250 in time trying to clean this out and creating a OSHA violation on my property? I mean, how much diesel fuel is it going to take to clean all that out of the bed and all that off the side? And then I still have to straighten out this front piece here that got pushed forward into the cab. It's totally bent. That's gonna have to be pulled back. I mean, it's too much. I'm not saying it's too much work. It's too much work for the amount of money I can give for a better bed. Plus, we're headed for a repaint anyway with the mismatched fender colors, the mismatched hood color. It's not even worth it to me to try and deal with this. And then as far as the front of the engine goes, I do have all the parts over there. They came in from Rock Auto to put all this together. So we got the core support there. I got a new radiator, keeping the intercooler. I got a new condenser and trans cooler. But it's not really going to do me much good to put this together because I'm planning on doing some performance stuff to this engine. My goal with this engine in the future, this isn't like a right now, today, even this episode kind of thing. I do want to put some performance stuff on this to really liven it up to what it could be. My goal is to do all the performance power stuff on this engine necessary before I need head studs. So these engines put out 200 horsepower from the factory, and you can go about 450, maybe 500, but we'll say 450 horsepower safely on the stock head bolts. So I want to sort of prepare for those future performance parts, but it's a lot harder to do the timing with all this stuff together on the front of the engine. So I want to take the fan clutch off because that's toast anyway, and I want to bump the timing from 14 to 16 degrees, and I want to take this tappet cover, timing cover off, and do the KDP fix before I put all this together. So at 16 degrees of timing and with the KDP fixed and then all the front end put together, I won't have to get down there anymore, and everything else I do, let's say a turbo, injectors, pump work, all that stuff, that can all be done with the truck all together. So yeah, this truck is a little bit more work than I bargained for. A little more in depth than what I'd hoped to do. Basically rebuilding the truck, whole front end, bed, everything but the cab, really. Oh, there's Loctite on it. That's why. Had to get the 1/2-inch gun. Two T25 bits. Where's the other one? Okay. Yeah, I'm replacing these with some original looking ones. I don't like these LED. They look cheesy. Oh my gosh. Oh, no, they kept the original. Okay, I thought they cut the wires and just wired it into the loom, because this has its own little motherboard in there, but they kept the original lock, or the whatever they call it. Stupid, man. Because you know when they put these on, they thought they were so cool. They said, I can't wait till I'm driving this at night. I make a scrap run about once a year, and I guess now's a good time to do it since the weather's nice. So it's Monday morning and we're here to scrap all that stuff. I went across the scales at 11,500 pounds, so we'll see how much they take off. I also have a few radiators and stuff like that. It's cool watching them do it. Got $131 from all like the knick-knack stuff. I had a couple aluminum radiators, a couple of brass radiators, an electric motor, some random copper wire, and that was $131. And then all the sheet iron, like what was in the bed, like the bed and everything that was in it, it was 1,600 pounds, 1,640 pounds at 105 a ton, which is pitiful money, 105 a ton, $86. So I netted $217 from a year's worth of saving whatever comes off these cars you see on the channel. Is it really worth it to do? I mean, you're not making a killing. It's like, what, once a year you get 200 bucks, big whoop. But whatever, it's better than throwing it away. So right now I'm waiting on parts to come in for this Dodge. I'm waiting for like headlight assemblies, taillight assemblies, radiators, like condenser, training cooler rad, fan clutch, bunch of odds and ends for this truck that I really don't need from a junkyard. So what I want to do now, which is what sometimes I like to do this, and you guys like it too, which is kind of interesting. I like to give updates on previous projects that have been in videos, cars that are for sale, you know, what's going on with previous video cars. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And also after that, we're going to do something else that's fun, you know, other than working on cars, which is also my passion. A passion within a passion, or a hobby within a hobby, is I like gas and oil stuff. You guys see it always in the background looking cool, like my Amlico pole sign and gas pumps and you know, other signage, all things gas and oil. We're actually going to be putting up another pole sign in another spot in the yard. You guys are really going to like that. So we're going to start with the Model A. I've had this car for about 9 or 10 months, and it's an awesome car. It's a beautiful car. I did a video on it last year. This is a really straight Model A, and I've been driving it around and I've been enjoying it. And it is up for sale right now. I have it up for $12,500. If you're interested in anything that you see that is for sale, please feel free to email me. I've sold lots of stuff to subscribers, and it's great because you guys have seen the videos and you know what you're getting. This is an all original car. It's been restored as needed, and I really love this thing. I've enjoyed driving it around, and I still drive it. It's insured right now. I drive it right now. I'm going to drive it till the moment it sells. This car is so original and cool. It's just sitting here, and I drive it whenever I feel like it. It needs nothing. I did a head gasket on it. I did a leakless water pump because the original ones were actually kind of meant to leak. So it doesn't leak anything. It doesn't leak oil, doesn't leak water, doesn't use oil, doesn't knock. I mean, just get in it and go. It's a little dusty because it's been sitting here, but the Model A has just been being enjoyed. On to the next one, the 55 Pontiac Fly and Drive video, which you guys should for sure go watch if you have not already. That is a classic channel video. Dad and me flew to San Antonio to get this car running and driving after it's been sitting for 30 some years, and we drove it 900 miles back. And I am going to start driving this car. I just haven't yet because, you know, after a big fly and drive video like this, where you're working on it 12 hours a day and you're just absolutely to your wits end trying to get it home, you just want to let it simmer for a bit. You know, you just go through this period where I don't want to touch it and I don't want to look at it because it's beat my ever loving you know what for a week. But I do love this car. I love how original it is. I'm big on originality, and I like patina. Some guys don't, but I do. This car is rust freaking free. Look at, even the dome light works when I open the door. Power steering works. The radio tries to work. Runs, drive, stops. Love this thing. So this one's just been sitting here. I still have all like the spare tanks that we used in the back. I haven't done a single thing to it. Just have it sitting here a little bit closer to me so I can look at it, and I'm going to insure it and drive it here soon. This one came with the first year. 1955 was the first year for the 287, I think, Strato Streak V8. And again, just bone stock, original, sweaty character condition. I was sold on this car from the moment I saw it. Original rad. I found receipts in there that said like the rad was record, and I found receipts in here in the car when I got home and actually looked that the engine was rebuilt 10,000 miles ago in the 60s. Cost $277 to rebuild this engine in the 60s. So I got a lot of paperwork with the car, but a few things I'll show you is this paper right here. This is a receipt, 3/29/1982, Gene's radiator service. Recore was $200. That's not expensive, actually. So $211 to recore the rad. This was paid. And then right here was the paper I was looking for. So there's a whole slew of work done here. And this is the engine rebuild. This is Kruger Chevrolet, New Braunfels, Texas, 1967. So 55, 12 years old. The car was 12 years old, and he had the motor, I would say, freshened up. So it took me a while to be able to read this, but it says replace rings, so the piston rings, grind the valves, replace main bearings, seal motor. And then this is like other odds and ends. So there's valve right here, there's main, there's oil pump, there's gasket, there's other stuff. So they did like a light rebuild on the engine and put it back together. That's why it runs so good. And it says the mileage here somewhere. Oh, odometer 15,924. And right now the odometer reads, I think, 24 or 25,000 miles. So this may be a 25,000 mile car, or it may be 115,000. Obviously, these don't go past 100,000. He might have rolled it over 100,000, went to 15, and then they would have put this down. So I don't know if it's 115. It was rebuilt at 115 or 15. Not 100% sure. But the car is just too nice, my dad thinks, to be 115. So I don't know. Could be 25,000 original miles. But the motor only has 10,000 miles on the rebuild, which is pretty cool. So again, that was January of 67. The car was 12 years old when they had that done. It cost him $277 in 1967, which was quite a bit of money. I mean, that would be like at least a couple grand these days. And another piece of paper I thought was cool was how to install and use your Hull auto compass. So here's the compass right here, and then there's the compass. He put it right there. So that it's kind of hanging down a little bit, but there's the compass, and then here's the paper. Look at that old school, printed in USA, the little man with the cap. Very cool to see these old papers, the old fonts. You can tell immediately that it's old. And then these two items, these are pretty cool. So this is the original owner's guide for this Pontiac. And actually, Pontiac was not an Indian tribe. Pontiac was the name of an Indian chief, the chief of the Ottawa tribe. So it's cool that everything in here has to do with Indians. So if you see, everything on it is Indian. Like the Indians in the river, the Indians, messing with trees and tribes and all that. And then everything in the book is like revolves around like Indian chiefs. there was a section in here where they have like little animated men working on the engine, and it was all like, oh, here, this, I like this. This was so cool. So automatic choke regulates the richness of gasoline. They have a little Indian man messing with the carburetor, and then they have the starter, this little Indian guy turning on and off the starter, key switch. I just think it's fascinating. All the is all Indians in animation. It's so cool. And I know this is not a reproduction because they reproduce them, because this is the original box it was shipped in from Drake Printing Company, 8 Mile Road, Detroit, Michigan, to Sergeant Charles, the original guy who bought the car. And this is the original owner right here. And he wanted the shop manual. And here it is. Oh, this is the brakes, I think. Yeah, this is what we did when we were in San Antonio. Yep, there's the brake booster right there that we took apart and fixed. So as for now, the Pontiac isn't for sale. I'm probably going to keep it for a while. I want to probably do another video on this car, unrigging the things that we had to rig to get it home, which really wasn't much. I'd like to put an original fuel pump on it instead of the electric one. I'd like to put a gas tank in it. I'd like to put an amp meter in it because we had electrical problems and we traced it to the amp gauge. So I'd like to put an amp gauge in it, and really, that's kind of it. I mean, it really doesn't need a lot, just piddly stuff that goes bad just willy-nilly. So that's the story on the 55 Pontiac. And then this is the 91 Cummins. I did a bunch of work to a couple videos back. If you guys didn't see, love my Cummins. Besides the pre-1980 stuff, the Cummins got my heart. 12 valve mechanical mafia for life, baby. This thing, I've never had anything like this. And it was done well. I mean, sometimes you see these trucks and they just hacked. Like when they do something like this, it's just hacked to death. And it's a little aged, but they did the work right. This sleeper was built by McKinley or McKinsley. This is a legitimate sleeper. There was a company that did these. So it's all built legit. The flatbed is built legit, tough, really nice flatbed. I mean, good Lord, you know, it's got compartments for storage. Look at these nice heavy metal doors, hinged all the way down. The little drip rail, look at the detail, the little drip rail, the water drip rail for the thing. Headache rack, lights. This was done right. It was filthy when I got it. Oh, beyond filthy. I had to go buy other seats from another truck. I had to go get carpet from another truck. Put it in there. I cleaned out the inside. It's got this like sleeper / back seat area in it. Hot shot truck, or this was either a hot shot truck or like a rodeo truck. This more reminds me of a rodeo truck, but you use it as a hot shot truck. It's a 5-speed manual, 12 valve. The odometer says 140 some thousand miles, but I don't believe that because the odometer doesn't work. These trucks had a bad problem about the plastic gear in the gauge cluster breaking, and the thing will be turning, but the plastic gear is broke, so it doesn't turn the odometer. I've had to take those gauge clusters apart and fix that issue multiple times. So I know that it works. It's just there's a little tiny plastic gear in there that's broken. I don't want to take the dash apart to fix it. And it has like a factory tack. This is a really cool truck. I have this truck up for 85, but I wasn't getting any action, so I lowered it to 78. 85 was already a good price. 78 is even better price, because I see people asking 8 to 10 grand for these trucks, and they're rotted out project trucks. This truck is rust free, ready to rock, good tires and everything. Probably my favorite feature on this truck is visors and the original Chrysler cab lights. Those are really cool. Those are worth money now. People are like looking for those and collecting them. That's a Lund. The original visors were Lund, L-U-N-D. Lund visor, Chrysler cab lights. Cool looking truck. Really cool hot shot truck or a rodeo truck. Here is the infamous 12 valve 650 horsepower Cummins build I've been working on. And 2 or 3 times now I've said I don't have a body for it, and I still don't. My dad went up to a car parts swap meet yesterday. He found a car that I really liked. It was an early 50s Buick that I would have bought for this build. And I'll put a picture up here. But he he was fishing for $4 grand, and the car was kind of taken apart, glass busted, no title. I mean, it was a pile. It was a project car. I mean, running and driving, I don't know if you could get 4 or 5 grand out of it, but I mean, I was thinking 12 to 1,500 bucks, but 4 grand was just not going to happen. Even though the car was really cool, it would have fit really well with what I'm trying to do. I really like the car. So it sits here until I find a body. And then here is the fly and drive Cummins truck that Dad and me got up in Dowagiac, Michigan, and drove back down here. I haven't done anything with this because I've been waiting on a title for it. It's a clean title. I've just been waiting for it to come in the mail. It's been on this whole rigmarole roller coaster ride trying to get this title for this thing for like since November, since Thanksgiving. What is that? November, December, it was 3 months now. I've been waiting for the title for this thing. This was a good truck. It starts up, some gauges in it. It's doesn't charge because it didn't charge when we got it. Then we got it to charge, and then it quit charging on the way back. And I don't know what happened. It could be the computer, it could be something else. But strong engine, strong transmission. It just sucks that it came from Michigan and then it got rotted out in the cab. This is probably going to be somebody's swap. And I'm going to put it up for sale once I get the title. I don't like giving people a story when I put something up for sale, like, oh yeah, it's got a clean title, but I'm getting it in the mail and I'll give it to you when I get it. Like, that just sounds fishy. So I am going to put this truck up for sale. It does have a clean title. I am getting it in the mail. It is true. I just don't have it yet. I'm probably going to ask, I'll probably ask 5 for this. I mean, an engine is like 35 to 4 grand. So a run and driving truck you could drive on the trailer, and you have all the parts, good parts, bumper, hood, you got interior parts, you got axles, you got all kinds of stuff. I'll ask 5 for it and see what happens. I called a transmission shop because I was looking for a transmission for one of these, and they said a core is 600 and a known good, okay, not rebuilt, a known good transmission for one of these, they want 1,600 bucks for. A rebuilt, they want 3 grand. So if an engine's worth 35 on the low end, which is true, here anyway, and a transmission, a known good, which this is a known good, it made it 2,000 miles, is 1,600, you got 35, 45, 51, and then you got a truck surrounding it. So what's that worth? I don't know, I'm gonna ask 5. And the Cadillac I did a few videos on. This is also right up my alley as far as cool factor. Every car I buy, it's not about always what it's worth. It's about, is it cool? Do I find it cool? This Cadillac I sold to one of my friends, and then he's had it here for a few months, and then he was like, look, I don't have the time for it. I don't have the space for it. Put it back up for sale. So I said, okay, Paulie, I'll put it back up for sale. So I have this back up for sale. I had it up for 68. I think I lowered it to 58, which is a smoking deal for a car like this that runs and drives and stops. I did a bunch of good work to this thing. My goal with every car that I end up putting up for sale is that it's straightened out, meaning it's ready to drive. Like, you could get in it and drive it right now. My goal is not always to restore them to day one. Actually, that's never really my goal. My goal is to just say, hey, if you buy this car from me, basically you can insure it and drive it as is, and you can do what you want to it afterwards. So like, I did all the brakes, I put brand new tires on it, it's got a brand new battery, it's got a radiator, I put radiator hoses on it, I rebuilt the water pump, I rebuilt the power steering pump, put a carburetor on it, belts, I don't know, I did some other things to the car too to get it straightened out. But yeah, you can fire this baby up, it runs and drives and stops. I like this thing. It's got an Autronic eye, which is the automatic headlight dimmers they had right there on the center of the dash in the 50s and 60s. Those are fascinating. You know, it's so hard to find these cars that they're not tore up, you know, and stuff is missing from them, and it's just, you know, all the stuff will be off and then everything will be in the car, and they'll swear, oh, I got everything, it's in the car, you know, but it's not, you know, stuff is missing. And if you see it on the car, you know it's there. The badging on the trunk, the bumper, the lights, all the handles, and even the little door trim, you know, the little bang trim where if you hit somebody's car it doesn't hurt your paint. Stuff like that is always missing. Mirrors, little itty bitty pieces. But yeah, this car is like, man, these Cadillacs drive so smooth, they run so smooth. Oh, and the radio works too, I forgot, the friggin' radio worked. It's just a cool car. Love these cars. And this is Dad's 1960 El Camino that we did a series of videos on actually 2 years ago now, and I put the compilation video out of all the videos a few months ago. This one is for sale for $14,500. It needs a little bit of finish work, but really the hard work is done. I think Dad has all the trim for it. It's just a little bit like this El Camino specific trim. I think he has, but it's a little dented up. That's why he didn't put it on there. But this car's all the paint and body's been done to it. White wall tires, brakes, all the rust, all the floors. Actually, he was at a my dad, man, he finds the coolest stuff. He was at a car part swap meet literally Sunday, yesterday, and he found this carpet kit for this car in Tasco, turquoise, the correct color. And the cool thing about this is it's NOS. Look at those original markings. This is a real 1960 carpet for this car. Look at the box. This is not a reproduction. Custom auto carpet, exact factory specs, front carpet, Chevy 1960 all models. From Western Auto. Wow, how cool is that? That is a real carpet that should go in this car. The interior needs to be finished, but you got the carpet now, so you don't have to deal with that. The dash has been painted, all the gauges work. He put a new front glass in it with a new front rubber, the window trim. He put the side glass in it, the wing window glass with new rubbers. Every time you find them, they want 8 to 10 for them, and they're rotted out, and they're a total waste project, essentially. This one's got a 327 with a turbo 400 aluminum rad, starts up, runs, drives. My dad put an exhaust on it, so it sounds good, runs good, drives good, stops good, lights work, new wiring harness, all front and back, all new floors. And really, if it just had a little bit of finish work, like the trim and the interior, this would be like a Barrett Jackson, Mecum auction quality car, like seriously. Let's talk about gas pumps and some man cave art that we also have that's for sale. We like a lot of our patina stuff, but when we restore something, you know, we really give it our all. And my dad did this all. He did the whole thing. So this is a Wayne, I think. This is a Wayne gas pump. This is a visible gas pump from the 1920s. He found an original blue glass for it, so somewhere on it, oh, it's up right up there. Can you see those white letters? It says 121 of 19. So that is a 106-year-old blue glass cylinder for a visible gas pump. Wow, still intact, not broke. Those are $900 to $1,000 right there, just the glass, not even talking about the globe or the pump or the handle or anything. And he put the markers in it, the gallon markers. He put a pricer on it, which is a repro. Put a red crown globe on it, which is a repro, but those are $800-900. I mean, just even if, because it's a repro, because they're so ornate. He put new skins on it on the side here, painted them, painted everything. That's an original handle, a period correct handle, brass handle. No rod on the base. I mean, it's just a beautiful pump. You could put it in the house. You could put it in a business lobby. I've seen a lot of people put these in lobbies in their businesses. We're asking $4,800 on this one, which I feel is a fair price for the work that went into it and how nice it is. And it's got a light in it, so the globe lights up. It's all wound for sound. This one is ready to rock and roll. And then here we got our patina pumps, which we like just as much as our restored pumps. This Wayne right here is already sold. This one is a G&B visible, also from the 20s. It's got the original glass, but it is busted on one side, but it's still there. Put a repro globe on it. It lights up too. It's got its original period correct handle, original skins, and it has a little bit of rot on the skins down low, like right here. You can see there's a little rust on the skins, but the base is good, and I think it's got the guts in it. I think we're at $2,300 on this pump. This is a great outside pump. This is really awesome yard art. And then this one is a Wayne 100A. This one's, some of them don't have that turnstile drum. Really, it would be on the island and cars could pull up here or here. And the drum, you know, it was on a retractable reel, and so you could use it, you could turn the drum, like when you pull the handle, the drum will actually turn this way or it'll turn that way. It's pretty neat setup. So not all of them had that, and what's really the kicker on this pump is the station lighter. So it doesn't have a globe, it's got this original station lighter, which these are real hard to find for a pump. It's got its original tag on it right here, which is kind of unreadable, but at least it's got it. This one's also, I think it's got the guts in it. No, the lower guts are removed in it. But super solid pump, man. This is a great looking pump. If I had another pump like this with a station lighter, I would not be selling it, because station lighter pumps, the only one I've had, never had one with a station lighter. I'm at I think I'm asking $3 for this one, which, because of just what it is, it's a neat one. And this one is another GMB patina pump, branded in Rainier, and instead of add glass, it's got like tin tackers. They call them tin punch. Yeah, it's tin punched. And then the globe is a repro, and it's got its original VisiGauge, which are pretty cool. Those are hard to come across. I think we're at 2,500 on this pump. Lower guts have been removed from it. It's got great patina, but it's not like rotted out. So this is a really great looking pump too. They're all cool in their own right. They made these signs in a few different sizes, these Sinclair signs. I can't remember if they made them in 30-inch, but they made them in 48-inch, 5-foot, and 6-foot, I think. This is 6-foot version. Sinclair had a few different logos over the years. Their very earliest and first logo was what they call the jail bar logo. Looks like a jail bar. I'll throw a picture up. And then I want to say in the 30s, they went to this Sinclair HC, which technically stands for Houston Concentrate, but they marketed it as high compression because it sounds cooler, you know, Sinclair high compression gasoline. In the late 50s or the early 60s, they went to the Sinclair dyno that's famous, you know, the Sinclair dinosaur emblem. So this is like 30s, 40s, 50s. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Oopsies, set it down. Hey, stop it. Dang it. Like that. There you go. That's like better. I'll do it this way straight. Okay, well, let's make the other strap. Hopefully this is like long enough. Ow! Woo! Metal's hot when you grind it. Alright, now we have the sign underneath the shop here, and I marked out where I want the tabs to be right here. So they're 21 inches from the center. So if you measure from where it connects, you know, that little opening. I don't like welding tabs onto these, but I kind of have to because I don't have the original hardware. And the way they did it from the factory was they had like these clamps. It was like two pieces and it bolted together like right here. And it was like, it looked like two C-clamps, and they would clamp like this and bolt right here, and they would squeeze on the sign, you know, like two little hands. But it's hard to remake those, and I don't have them, so it's much more easier and universal to weld tabs on. I'm doing it just like how I did this sign. So if you look at this sign, I do have the original hardware for the straps. Those straps that go around the swinger arm, those are original, but I had to weld tabs on that ring and then bolt some chain links to it to go from the tab to the strap, so that when the sign swings like it's doing right now, if you look closely, it's swinging back and forth. You don't want to hard mount the sign to the straps, because then the straps are going to want to swing on the arm. And you don't want to tear the arm up and wear the straps and the arm of the pole out. You want sort of a sacrificial lamb, and that's what the chain links are. And plus, if it really bothered somebody, if I welded these tabs on, they can always take them off, grind it down, and it's like it never happened. So. Kind of mirror it like that and cut it again. Oh. So now, where we're at with this pole sign is all the hardware is done. Got our straps made, got our chains on them, got the tabs on the sign, so we'll bolt this link to the sign itself. Got both of them straightened out and ready to go. So the sign is ready to bolt onto the pole, but the pole is not ready to bolt onto the plate. So I took the plate off and I cut 4 holes in it to match those 4 holes. But when I put the plate back on, I realized that this hole is right over the lag bolt. So I had to cut another hole in the plate, like offset, and I'm gonna have to cut another hole in this base to not hit that lag bolt nut. In order to get it perfectly right, I want to take the sign, bolt 3 bolts to it, and then mark out where I drilled that hole or cut that hole, and then go cut the hole in the pole, so I'll have all 4 bolts. Swinger poles are a hair bit lighter than like the banjo poles, so I might be able to move it. Man, nah, tractor time. Okay, now we gotta take it off, take the pole over to the shop and plasma cut that in, and then we can get all 4 in. One thing I want to do before we put the sign up is get the light ready, so that we can put the light on while the pole is still angled down, because doing it when it's all the way up is hard. So you don't want to cut it short, because you can always cut it, you can't lengthen it, so that should be more than enough. So I've never used these kind of connectors before. These are like the new solder connectors where, you know, you don't crimp them. It's like a little piece of solder in there and you heat it up. And I like the idea, and we're gonna give it a shot right now. It's like supposed to be low heat solder. It's a little bit windy. There it goes. I need like a little torch, actually, would be better for this. And see, it's, look at that, watertight. Seals up, solders. Seems like a much better connection than the typical butt connectors. Maybe there's a lot of heat, but I need like a little propane deal or something. Okay, there's your light pole.
I don't think that jack's gonna go high enough.
Yeah, well, it'll be able to jack it all the way up.